All you gotta do is just speak. One word is enough, and I'm no longer so rough. I forget what I was trying to say. I no longer do what I was gonna do, but you're no good for me. That's why me know set me if it go flee. Me I fi take away me say. Me I fi take away me say. Me I fi hide like a thief in the night. Me I fi get out of sight. Me I fi take away me self. I fi take away myself. I have to utilize I wings. Shorty I clean where I ease. I said, yeah. I find you very hard to resist. With this relationship I'm gonna desist. But how can I face you when all I wanna do is just taste you? I know you think I play me, I play, but soon you're gonna see the light of day. Just relax, don't move an inch. I'll be gone in a pinch. May I feel take away myself. May I feel take away myself. May I feel hide like a thief in the night. May I feel get out of sight. May I feel take away myself. Take away myself. I have to utilize I will. Shorty, I a clean pair of heels. I said, yeah, yeah. Been there, done that, don't need it again, yeah. I'm not a masochist who won't play your game, yeah. To how you move, you off me way to the core. Sayonara, the hot girl gone through the door. Take away ourselves. Ah, yeah, 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 yeah. Say no goodbye, girl, let me take me ourselves. Take me ourselves. No goodbye, girl, let me take me
Welcome to another Real Stuff podcast. This is yours truly, Franco, and I'm going to be linking up with Flavius in just a few minutes. So in the meantime, we want you to keep it locked and don't go nowhere because we'll be right back.
Woman, sit upon the throne of glory. About Tarragon, tell you a true story. That'll make the mythical knights and Davon Silver.
Wishing the best and filled with happiness.
On a mercy, yeah.
With love, yeah. This for your queen, go on, fulfill your dreams. More kisses and hugs, yeah. And never felt as warm like a tree.
What a man say?
Rivers of love you will plant, yeah. Your courage will make me taste and surrender. Angel Lord, you're a special saint, yeah. Wish you the best and filled with happiness. From sir with love, yeah. This for your queen, go on, fulfill your dreams. More kisses and hugs,
Yo,
yeah.
the woman forget to pamper. She forget the woman. No watch no step, she delicate woman. Forget tights and respect one. Mother, sister, don't let me tell you vital part of me biology. If she never open and let them baby would be. Wish all a proud city now me history. To the children know that could never be who you think nurture pamper and care for me. To the long arc series of maternity, none of the woman forget pamper. She forget the woman. Now watch those steps, she delicate a woman. Forget tights and respect one. Mother, sister, darling.
You're moving graciously. The loving you give me is so stress-free. Yeah. You are a source of strength, Miss Magnificent, positive thinker.
Woman of the master race.
Oh, my Madonna, modern emancipation. So, wish you the best life filled with happiness. From Sir with love, yeah. This for your queen, go on, fulfill your dreams. More kisses and hugs, yeah.
Then when you are going on with your girl chat, you mad, couldn't be referring not to me Princess Black. Well, if you not come out of the poopy back, that might say if negativity you would hold it back. Cause there's no other like the female gender. No amount of sex change can replace your mother. You might tend to differ as you go older, but the breast was best and still is me brother. The woman forget pamper, she forget pet the woman. Now watch no step, she delicate a woman. Forget tights and respect one. Mother, sister, Danette. Coulda never come disrespect my queen, you know. No, you better come clean. Silver, come bounce it so.
Wish you the best life filled with happiness. From Sir with love, yeah. Before you can go on, fulfill your dreams. More kisses and hugs, yeah. Wish you the best life filled with happiness. From Sir with love, yeah. Before you can go on, fulfill your dreams. More kisses and hugs, yeah.
Woman forget pamper, she forget better woman. After no step, she delicate a woman, you know. Forget tights and respect one. Mother, sister, than the woman. Yeah, the woman, you know. Need some respect, security for surety. More of that from you and me, you know. She a celebrity, the woman. Pamper, she forget to pet the woman. Hey, watch those steps, she delicate the woman, you know. Forget tights and respect one. Me mother, sister, the woman.
Yes, indeed. We have with us this morning Flavius in Jamaica. Morning, Flavius. How you doing?
I'm doing well.
And how is everything in Jamaica today?
Not sure yet. Don't hear the news yet because things change by the second.
Mm-hmm.
But the sun is out there shining. Which is something we always use to see what is happening.
Mm-hmm.
And good morning, listeners. Good morning, all over the world where we are. Special call out to my friends in Portland, St. Catherine in particular, St. Mary,
True.
and all the islands of the Caribbean. And I must say, people might be wondering, is this a Jamaican program or is it a Caribbean program or whatever? But we are Caribbean people, so it is a Caribbean program and a Jamaican program. And very, 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 I am very passionate about the Caribbean because I believe, although there's a lot of distance between islands in some areas, like in Jamaica, we are way out in the west with Cuba and Haiti and Domrep, and the others are on the other side. But I think we are one people.
Okay.
I want again set about to proving that. But we are one people.
True.
And my passion is the Caribbean. Everything that I do is Caribbean wide. I don't know what other people. I hear people complain that when they go to different islands, they have problems or whatever. When I go to these islands, I am so at home.
Wow.
I am so at home. And there's no exception to all the ones that I have visited. There's no exception.
I
I
see,
feel
I see.
when I wake up in the morning, I walk out. I mean, it is just like home. There's no difference,
Mm-hmm.
no difference. So another thing that we're going to be doing is Caribbean stuff, a lot of Caribbean stuff. The next feature we have coming up, probably starting next week or so, is Caribbean cooking.
Mm-hmm.
So you can learn different ways different Caribbean islands cook, different recipes and dishes that they prepare at
Okay.
home,
Mm-hmm.
in hotels, wherever. But we're trying to focus on the dishes that the ordinary people would cook, you know. And all around the Caribbean, you have Sunday dinner, which is different from the other dinners. And you have a whole line of soups and surprisingly, you have things that grow around the Caribbean but not eaten by everybody in the Caribbean. I mean, the one that comes to mind first is ackee. Ackee grows everywhere in the Eastern Caribbean,
Uh-huh.
but it's not eaten.
True.
But here's the joke now. When these same people come to Jamaica, they hunt down the ackee and saltfish.
Mm.
But I think they say that they don't know how to prepare it properly, so they don't eat it because they grew up not trusting it and not eating it.
Mm-hmm.
But they know that it is nice, so when they come to Jamaica, they have to sample it.
True.
I know the Eastern Caribbean is famous for fish. I mean, they have fish everywhere. That's why I like going down there because fish. It just they catch so much fish down there, so much fish. So if you're a fish lover, that's the place to go. That's the place to go.
Well, before we get started into your did you know, let me just wish happy birthday to my mother. Happy birthday to Augustina Love, aka Mother Love. Today she'll
Happy
be
birthday, Mother Love. This is
80
Flavius.
years old.
Mm-hmm.
So happy birthday
How
to
much?
you. 80. 80.
Oh, that's one. A good
80.
number. That's
80. Yeah. Big
a
number,
good
big
number.
number.
That is an exceptional lady. It's a very nice lady. I've known her for some time now,
Mm-hmm.
and she's just the same. Yeah, man, just the same. Nice lady, man. Very, very nice lady. I don't want to say you're lucky because then again, some start grudge you, but
No.
you have a nice mother. You have a nice mother. Like
Well,
I say, I have met her a long time now, and interact with her from time to time. And I just like her vibes.
true.
Very, very, very good vibes, man. Very, very, very good vibes.
So, so I'm gonna give her something off the jazz album. I'm gonna
Okay.
give her Mood Indigo
Oh, yes.
this
Wonderful
morning.
song for that.
And
Yeah, man.
then when we come back, we go right into your Did You Know, okay? So
Okay.
this one is for you, Mother Love, and for all of you who are celebrating birthdays today, happy birthday.
You ain't been blue, no
indigo. Since my baby said goodbye, in the evening when lights are low, I'm so lonesome I could cry, 'cause there's nobody who cares about me. I'm just a poor soul who's bluer than blue can be. When I get that mood indigo, I could just sit here and die.
Voice meets the string, the beautiful voice of the legend, Miss Pam Hall. Actually, two legends, Miss Pam Hall and Mr. Ernest Ranglin. Mood Indigo going out to Mother Love and for all those who celebrating birthdays today. We have Flavius, and he's going to be doing our famous Did You Know?
Morning again. Morning again. Back to Did You Know? And we always have something that we want to share. And again, we ask you to share your Did You Knows with us. Share it with us, please. We want to know what is out there.
Mm-hmm.
What we don't know, and others don't know. And not because you know it, you probably feel that
we know it.
Other people, other people know it. But that is not really so. Okay, this morning we are going to look at Grenada, beautiful island of Grenada. I'm telling you, it's really, really beautiful. Lots of nice beaches, food. They are very big on their food. Very, And
I like spice.
They are known as the Spice Island because they have a lot of spice down there. And of course, leading the way in a big way is something called a nutmeg. I don't know how many of you know nutmeg, but nutmeg is a major thing in Grenada. In fact, I just saw a headline that says, in Grenada, nutmeg heads up an economic revolution. Grenada is using nutmeg to keep their island going, keep their finances up. That's how powerful the nutmeg is for Grenada. Okay, a little about the nutmeg. The English word nutmeg comes from the Latin nux, N-U-X, meaning nut, and muscar, meaning musky. The nutmeg originates from the Banda Islands in the Moluccas or Spice Islands of Indonesia. In fact, until the mid-19th century, the control of the nutmeg trade became In fact, until the mid-19th century, these islands were the only source of nutmeg in the world. The control of the nutmeg trade became highly sought after as in Elizabethan times. It was believed nutmeg could ward off the plague. So nutmeg became very popular and its price skyrocketed. In the 17th century, the English and Dutch engaged in prolonged struggles to gain control of the Banda Islands, with the Dutch eventually succeeding and gaining dominance of the nutmeg trade. Subsequently, the Dutch waged another bloody war, including the massacre and enslavement of the inhabitants of the island of Banda. So we see how far this whole colonialism has come from, and for a lot of different products. Just to control the nutmeg production in the East Indies in 1621. Therefore, the Banda Islands were run as a series of plantation estates, with the Dutch mounting annual expeditions in local war vessels to keep nutmeg trees planted everywhere. As a result of the Dutch interregnum during the Napoleonic War, 1803 to 1815, the British took temporary control of the Banda Islands from the Dutch and transplanted nutmeg trees, complete with soil, to Sierra Leone, Panag, Bakulin, and to Singapore, as well as their other colonial holdings, most notable Zanzibar and Grenada. Nutmeg was introduced to Grenada in 1843 when a merchant ship called in on its way to England from the East Indies. The ship had a small quantity of nutmeg trees on board, which they left in Grenada, and this was the beginning of Grenada's nutmeg industry. Following a crop disaster that hit the Dutch Indonesia trade in 1850, Grenada was put firmly on the map as the Spice Island of the Caribbean, and its production of nutmeg was put into overdrive to fill the void. Grenada now supplies nearly 40% of the world's annual crop, and its importance to the island is so great that it has been an honored place on the flag. So you look on the Grenadian flag, the nutmeg is there. The nutmeg is known as Grenada gold, black gold. It is certainly treated thusly, as every bit of the nutmeg is used. Every part of the nutmeg is used. That's the big thing in today's day, you know. They throw away nothing from the nutmeg. And if you look at our slideshow going on now, you see lots of what the nutmeg is used for. There are three layers The outer pericarp, which is used to make jelly, the red membrane called maize, a twin spice, and the seed considered to be the most valuable for its culinary use, essential oils, butter, and medicine. Even the outer shell is used as garden mulch. And I've seen people use the shell in their driveway, so they can drive on it. When they pack up enough nutmeg shell, plus it can be also a deterrent for criminals, because when you walk on that, it makes a lot of noise. It can wake you up. The nutmeg is dear to the Grenadians. In fact, at the 2012 London Olympics, Grenadian athlete Simmer Eswa Simpson created the motto, "Respect the nutmeg," which inspired a cocktail on our menu to show his pride for his country. Also, after winning the 400-meter race and Grenadia's first ever gold medal, the first thing Kirana James did was to kiss the nutmeg embroidered on his uniform. In Grenada, nutmeg heads up the economic revolution. The essential oil is obtained by the steam distillation of ground nutmeg and is used heavily in perfumes and pharmaceutical industry. The nutmeg essential oil is used as a natural food flavoring in baked products, syrups, beverage, including Coca-Cola and sweet drinks. Essential oil is also used in the cosmetic industry, for instance, toothpaste, and as a major ingredient in some cough syrups. Let me just move over to the fleshy fruit is lemon yellow to light brown in color. When ripe, it splits open, exposing the brilliant scarlet web-like membrane, or avril, known as the mace, which encircles a dark brown brittle shell. Inside the shell is a single nutmeg pod. Inside the shell is a single glossy brown oily seed, the nutmeg. In Grenada, the fleshy portion is known as nutmeg pod and is used to manufacture nutmeg jam, jelly, syrups, and other stuff that we'll get to shortly. The pod was once a waste product of the nutmeg industry. However, since it's now utilized in manufacture of nutmeg products, the nutmeg tree has assumed greater economic importance to Grenada. Nutmeg and the mace are similar in aroma and taste, but the mace is more refined and delicate. The fragrance is mellow, warm, highly aromatic. Culinary use of the nutmeg includes both sweet and savory dishes. Grated nutmeg is added to beef, mutton, pork, and lamb dishes and is used extensively in desserts and cocktails. It adds a spicy flavor to such vegetable dishes as cabbage, cauliflower, spinach, and mashed potatoes. In Grenada, it is widely used in meat stew, vegetable sauce, egg dishes, fruit salad, and pie filling, and is sprinkled liberally in rum punch and punche creme. The use of nutmeg in traditional folk medicine is well documented. In India, Hindu physicians once used nutmeg to cure headaches, fever, bad breath, and intestinal disorders. In Arabia, medical writings, nutmeg was touted as an aphrodisiac and a remedy for kidney and stomach ailments. Nutmeg oil, which is extracted from the pig's fat, is used in Grenada to relieve pain associated with arthritis. Commercially, nutmeg are utilized in the manufacture of perfumes, soaps, shampoos. A large portion of Grenada's nutmeg is used in the meat packing industry of Scandinavia to flavor various types of sausages. Nutmeg is also an ingredient in liniments which are used to relieve congestion caused by influenza and colds. Now, when you have a product like nutmeg where every part of it is used and every part of it can bring you money. If you go to Grenada now, go to a hotel, a restaurant, somebody's home, you'll always, on the table, you'll always see nutmeg jam. But I'm kind of leaving the best for last. Nutmeg ice cream. The best ice cream I've ever tasted in my life was nutmeg ice cream in Grenada. And that's a big, 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 big thing in Grenada. Nutmeg jams and jellies and ice cream. And of course, the oils, you can, they have the oils in spray bottles. You can just spray it. If you have a sprain or some discomfort in your feet, you can use that. And it works, Well, what I'm going to say about the Caribbean, a lot of these Caribbean islands who have an advantage in something like a nutmeg, as you can see here, they use it to the fullest. They get everything out of it. And everybody in Grenada is about nutmeg. They use it at home, they sell it, they export it. So nutmeg is a big thing. So if your country don't have it or you can get it, it's very nice to have. You put it in your smoothie, you put it in your puddings, in your cakes, all of these things, But remember, you have so many different parts of the nutmeg that you can use for different things. Try out your hand at doing some nutmeg ice cream or some nutmeg jam. And that is made from the fleshy outside part that covers the actual nutmeg seed when it's growing. And they used to throw it away. Then somebody came with a great idea. Why not try and use this for something? And a completely new industry started. So that's what did you know for this morning. I hope you liked it. And I hope you who didn't know will know something new this morning.
Yes, now you know. When I was a kid, I used to put the nutmeg in my mouth and run. Them said it would give you a long breath.
Yeah, I heard that too.
I don't know how true that was, but I used to use it, So, in case you didn't know, now you know the nutmeg. Yes.
I didn't see that all because, as you can see, it has so many properties,
Oh yes, and ice cream I love for taste.
No, man, the ice cream is out of this world. I tell you.
I truly love to taste the ice cream. So we have to go Grenada, forget the ice cream, or
I would imagine so. Or you can, if somebody, a Grenadian person up where you are, then can make it for you.
All right.
It's not hard to make because as long as you know to start. Mm-hmm. That fleshy part, like I say, it's something like the pad of Achilles. That they dry and grate,
Okay.
that now the sky's the limit. You can put it, you can use it, they make jams and they make jellies and they make ice cream and they put it in cake. You make a cake with it. All kind of things they do. All kind of stuff.
You let me chuckle when you talk about the shell, or them put it in the driveway and run the cars over it, and then it's also a good deterrent for thief. It's like it's a burglar alarm.
No, I've actually seen it now. In fact, I can send you a picture later.
No, I've seen people use bulbs and do all of that. So I know the shells, yes, most definitely. If you break up the shell and just, lay it out, sprinkle it all over, the front door, somebody come and start step on it, especially at night. You're going to use it. All right.
I know somebody's out there.
Mm-hmm.
But this place I went to now, it's a big driveway, probably 2 cars wide, and just totally covered with it. Mm-hmm. When you walk on it, you feel it. It's very solid, but because it's little pieces of this thing, it moves.
True.
And then the sound comes up,
Well, a whole lot of Caribbean stuff we know about now. But before we bring in our guest this morning, Omilani, we're gonna hit you up with a tune that at the end of this week, May 29th, will be the official release. But tell them, say, you hear it right here on the Real Stuff podcast. And if you listen to our internet radio on Reggae Nostalgia, internet radio, reggaenostalgia.com, you go on our website and you should hear our internet radio. It's also in every rotation. So Wayne Armon with It's All Right.
Tomorrow is another day. It's alright. It's okay. Just stand firm in the face of adversity and watch them fade away. Life of a wave will carry you down when the money in the bank gets shorter and the bills are coming and you're caught in between the devil and the deep blue water. I know say that when you come on my yard and the picnic them I look them sober. So you do what you can cause a man is just a man and you don't make the picnic them sober. And you pray to the Father when this tribulation I go in, but remember Jonah in the belly of the whale and Daniel in the lion's den. It's alright. It's okay. Just hang on a little bit longer, cause tomorrow is another day. It's alright, it's okay. Just stand firm in the face of adversity and watch them fade away. I say time of a wait, we test your faith, so you got to have enough endurance. One day at a time, just keep on trying, cause time carry no insurance. No matter how the situation hard, things can only get better. Just have some faith, everything will go great, cause nothing ever lasts forever. And you pray to the Father when this tribulation I go in, but remember Jonah in the belly of the whale and Daniel in the lion's den. It's alright, it's okay. Just hang on a little bit longer, cause tomorrow is another day. It's alright, it's okay. Just stand firm in the face of adversity and watch them fade away.
Well, this one is a bombshell.
say that I'm rebellious. Hey, yeah. Oh, and I like it. Oh, I speak my mind and I talk real loud. I bring the party, I'm the life of the crowd.
Yes, 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 indeed, my listeners. Welcome once again. And this morning we have none other than the one and only. I call her my Empress, Omilani, and a multi-talented young lady at that. Good morning, Omilani. How you doing?
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having me on your show today.
You are most welcome, most welcome. So, how's the weather in your side?
You know what? I'm enjoying the quiet and the calm.
Mm-hmm.
It is that season though. We always have a lot of rain here in Miami
Yeah.
during the seasons. Yeah, but it's nice.
I can't I think it's preparation time now for the hurricane season because pretty soon we're going to have to start preparing for the hurricane.
Well,
Hurricane
next week.
season. Yeah, in the month of
Yeah.
June. So
Yep.
when I
Yeah.
see the ending part of May and this whole heap of rain, it get me, on my toes a little bit scared because I hate the hurricane season.
Yeah.
But it's part of what Florida gives us. So we got to
That's
bear with
right.
it. True, true. So the family is okay? Is the family okay today?
Yeah, everybody is great. Spoke with my mom this morning. Everybody's good.
Thanks, 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 thanks. Good to know.
Wonderful,
Good to
wonderful.
know. So I mean, the last time I had graced you on internet radio was, let me see, was 2007.
Yeah.
Long, long
What
time. And
a
she
long
was
time
my
ago
first
when I first
live
came
guest.
to Miami.
Yes, my
Okay.
first live guest inside the studio.
I remember.
My first live guest. And I think it was a rainy night too, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
I
and we
remember.
just sit down and we chit chat and play music and talk. And
Yeah,
then about 2015, we met at the IRAMA Awards.
right.
Yeah, so from
I
that
remember
time
that.
since you said, "Oh, Franco, I've done so many things and I've been traveling, I went back to school, I get my degree, and I've been doing this and that." So fill me in on what's going on in your life and your music. I never even know that you're a film director as well. So I know it's a lot of
Yeah,
stuff you got to tell us about. So fill us in.
yes. So much has happened since that time.
Uh-huh.
Wow. You talk about 2007. That was before I even, like before I went to school, before I graduated, before before the degrees, before the traveling, before the filmmaking. In fact, that was the time I came back to Miami fresh from Trinidad. I
Mm-hmm.
remember that. And yeah, and I released no, I didn't have like that song Rebellious that you just played. It
Mm-hmm.
was on Flowers, Birds and Bees. I did that after then. But yeah, it's been a journey. And my work is always based on culture and roots and
And the
like
Caribbean.
right and digging
Yeah.
up our past and things like that. So my first film, my first feature film, it was about traveling throughout the
Okay.
Caribbean and to Puerto Rico and trying to find where is home, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And what
Okay.
about, huh?
No, say okay. Yeah.
I didn't hear you. What you say?
Oh, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
No, but like for a lot of people, a lot of us who might even be first generation, for
Mm-hmm.
example, or even second generation, sometimes you don't know where is home, because you live in the States, you might be born in the States, but you don't feel American enough. America doesn't feel like home,
Mm-hmm.
and then you go to the land of your ancestors, and sometimes that that there, if you might feel home like, but then you also know that there is a difference too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always a question of where is home? Where can we identify?
True, true.
So where is home now?
That's a good question. Um, well, I remember there was a scholar, I think it was Paul Gilroy, who said, it's not where you're from, it's where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
And what he meant by that is, it could mean a lot of things. It could mean physically, but it could also be about what is your state of mind. I always feel, at least in my travels so far, I always feel at home in the Caribbean. And I
That makes
definitely,
two of us. Hmm?
what do you say?
That makes two of us.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just something about, when I reach the islands and just to be like, when I see the mountains, when I see the green, when I taste all the natural food, when I'm someplace where I feel like I just fit in, I don't have to explain how I dress or how I look or how anything. Yeah, that's why I feel most home in the Caribbean.
True, 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 true. So you said this was your you did your first film.
Right.
Was it what was it able to make it on what cans?
Not yet. That would be nice, hopefully in the future. But this one, I did the first screening in Spain,
In
in Sevilla.
Spain,
Yeah, in Spain.
you're
And
traveling.
then
I'm telling you, you're a traveler.
I try, I give thanks for
Mhm.
being able to travel. But the film made the debut at Miami Film Festival.
Good, good,
And
good.
from there, it went on a tour. It
Mhm.
was one of these things where, my art, my film, all of those things,
Mhm.
I feel like it's guided by something beyond me. I didn't want to make the film, just like I
Okay.
didn't want to do a lot of things,
Mhm.
but it's a story that wrote itself. And even to make the film, I was just hoping to be able to interview people
Mhm.
who could tell their story so I could understand these questions better through them. But when I first started, I was having trouble getting people to interview with me.
Mhm.
So I had to pick up the camera and turn it on me and tell my story and how I felt about life and answer my questions. And then everything
True.
fell in place.
True, 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 true.
So where did the journey take you in your film?
So I went to Puerto Rico. One of the reasons why is because of being told everywhere I go that I didn't belong. And I remember growing up, and my mother would talk a lot about Maya West. Like Maya
Mhm.
West is a town in Puerto Rico. So she would talk about it like it was just beautiful and home, and like I thought it was paradise. Like if I went there, I felt like that would answer everything. But the weird thing is sometimes when you look for things, you don't find what you're looking for.
Mhm.
I went to Maya West. I enjoyed it. I had a good time, but it definitely didn't feel like home. I don't mean it in a disrespectful way,
Mhm.
but if I deal with the reality, I didn't find it there. I found it somewhere where I wasn't even looking and didn't necessarily feel connected.
Mhm. And where
Yeah.
was that?
It was a town called Jabucoa. Now the thing about this is that uh, so my west is on the west coast of Puerto Rico.
Mhm.
Then you have the east coast of Puerto Rico. So something led me to this town called Caguas, and there was this place that I went. There was a beautiful botanical garden.
Mhm.
And I remember being there one day and I couldn't leave a building. I thought, "Well, this is strange. I wonder why I can't go out of this building."
Mhm.
And then I stepped out and looked at the sign, and the sign said that this was a barrack, like it was where enslaved people would sleep,
Mhm.
you know?
Okay.
And I thought that was real interesting. I didn't even know I was standing on a plantation, you know?
Whoa.
And I didn't know the space that I was standing in was a place where the people would, that's where they were living, that's where they were staying. See, we walk places every day, but we don't realize everywhere we step has an energy.
Of an
And
energy. True, true.
right, and sometimes you might be connected to that energy or you could be repelled from that energy. In my case, something spoke to me
Mhm.
and everything changed from that moment. And I would just, I traveled all over the island. And I remember standing on a coast one day. And I don't know if you've ever been in a place or a space where you stand and something about you remembers, you
Mhm.
know, like not in your conscious mind, not in your present tense,
Mhm.
but something about me remembered standing in that space, at some point in life.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's in the context of the movie, and in the context of that particular search,
Mhm.
that's where I found home on the east coast of Puerto Rico and Jabucoa.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's
Hmm.
good. So at least you cover that part of it, because
Part of it.
I know your ancestors are all over the world.
Yeah, they are. They're
Yeah.
all over.
So after Puerto,
So,
oh, go ahead, Flavius.
no, I was asking how Trinidad came in.
Okay. So that one is a longer story too. I as you all know, I
Yeah,
have a very
all the time in the world.
I, I have a very mixed background, which can make sometimes for some confusion if I'm being honest about it. The confusion is more so feeling a pressure to have to identify with or be a particular way. But in reality, well, I mean, I have to speak straight because I'm a spiritual person.
Yeah.
So I believe we have ancestors who speak out at different times and lead us in different places. I felt the same way when I went to Jamaica. I'm going to get to Trinidad, but
Okay.
I'm a storyteller, so that's
Oh,
how we tell
definitely,
stories.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was part of a dance company, and we went to go and study at Jamaica School of Dance. And
Okay.
yeah. And so before I traveled to Jamaica, I had dreams of the place. I saw the island before going there. And I went there, and it definitely felt like home too.
True, true.
And then Trinidad is because on my father's side, I have family from Trinidad. They're Chinese Indian. So yeah, I have Asians on my father's side and Africans on my mother's side, from throughout the diaspora as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
So I grew up with a mix or exposure too. On my mother's side too, Jamaicans, Puerto Ricans, Africans always. On my father's side, Trinidadians, Africans. Like we would laugh that when we would all get together, we feel like United Nations.
Yeah.
Yeah, right in my
That's
family. So
a nice combination.
yeah,
United
Yeah.
Nations.
it's hard to see the separation, in that way. So naturally, the Caribbean would feel like home. Naturally, other places would feel like home. But my father is Filipino,
Okay.
so that's another thing. I always rejected those roots for a long time. But the
Okay.
same, I had to go and learn and find a way to connect, and get the answers about do I connect with Puerto Rico, in a way. I feel like I have to acknowledge that part of me too. I can't ignore it like it's not part of me. So if you see me bigging up
So,
sometimes,
how did your father get to Trinidad?
no, that's just from his mother's side. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I asked her because I know that Filipinos don't, this is not one of the places that they come to.
No, they're Chinese and Indian.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chinese and Indians.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
see the
Okay.
Indian
No,
part and the
if you
Chinese
if you
part
ever meet
traveling. Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
meet Trini who's Hosang, that's the last name of my Trini family in Trinidad. Yeah.
But we have old songs in Jamaica too.
Oh, you do?
Oh yes.
Yes.
Okay.
There was a champion jockey back in what 70s, 80s by the name of
Yes,
George
70s.
Osang.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
we have
George
Hosangs and
Osangs.
Jardines. I'm related to Jardines too. So
Okay.
yeah, but they're Asian Caribbean. Yeah. And then my father's father is pure Filipino.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So give me the Jamaica now. What happened in Jamaica when you went there for the with the dance troupe? What happened?
Yeah, so I
Dance.
was in a dance company and we went on a Caribbean tour and we were studying Kumina and Brookings and like more traditional type
What?
of yeah.
Coach, I'm telling you, this young lady is so interesting. She,
Oh,
you
yeah.
have to
Oh,
listen to
yeah.
her for more than a day, man. Cause I'm
Oh,
telling
yeah.
you. So go
Yeah.
ahead, continue.
No,
I just
it was
nosy,
a
we
beautiful
nosy. We call it nosy. We nosy.
It's all right, it's all right. Yeah. No, I loved it. I really loved being in Jamaica. I really connected. It's the culture. It's the again, I've always been connected with my roots and with my culture and proud to be African. So that was the place where I went where, you could just feel that beautiful Black power, being in Jamaica, that people so proud. And I love how people interact on the street.
Okay.
Yeah, when you're walking down the street, whatever people thinking, they'll just say that to you. Like, it's something that I loved about being there. Yeah.
So did you see much of the island? Did you get
Well,
to see much?
we were based in Kingston. I was living in Halfway Tree. We didn't really go around a lot because we were based at the school. We performed at UTEC. We did a show
Yeah.
at UTEC, and but no, we mostly stayed in Kingston. Now since then, I've gone on my own and been able to travel around a little bit. But yeah, like they say, Jamaica nice. I
Jamaica
like Jamaica.
nice, Jamaica nice.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
Franco, next year we can invite her to celebrate in Portland.
Absolutely,
I would
absolutely,
love that.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Just mark that on your calendar. That's a month
Yeah.
of February. The month of February.
The last week in February.
Yeah, the last week in February. Yeah.
Will be gonna be an 8-day festival.
Oh, that sounds nice. And I have some new music too, so
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Good.
Continue the journey.
Yeah.
Because I know this is going to lead up because I know you got an award for the film.
Yeah.
So I want to hear the journey leading up to the awards.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, a lot of these things have, like, they have paved the road of their own, and it has come. I have been the one dragging my feet, but I guess when you're destined to do certain things, it happens whether you wanted to or not. So in the case of this film, in a way, I find it funny because you have people, who really are setting out to do this, and like, this is what their intention is to do, and maybe they're fighting to reach that. In my case, I was fighting against it. I was
Okay.
like, no, yeah. So I have to, like, give it up to the director and I guess founder of Miami Film Festival, Jay LaPlante. He
Okay.
is one of the reasons why I finished the film and fought my fear of submitting to put in the film, and he really got the ball rolling. He made sure my film was in his festival, and kept me encouraged. And so it was good. It's the most beautiful feeling to see something you worked hard on. And this was really a very personal project because it was more questions of myself and who I am in this life,
True.
So to see that story on a big screen, to see my sister, my oldest sister, I have my family in the film too. So to see my sister talk about from her perspective what it was like growing up Black Puerto Rican, to hear the other women share the pain and the beauty of what it's like to live between cultures. It was a wonderful thing, and that exposure opened the road so that I could be at other festivals, such as the Newark International Film Festival. When they announced my name, I couldn't believe it, because as artists, we can be very self-critical. So in me being self-critical, you always feel like what you're doing is not good enough, or you always feel like, not worthy enough for where things take you in life. Yeah, so I didn't even have to be prepared. I don't even know what I said when I got up to receive that award. But like I said, I give thanks, and we had a whole 2020 tour planned, but then Corona hit, so yeah, some great things have happened as a result of the film.
Corona, it can start trip,
Yeah.
mash up everything. Well, I know also, with the film that you have written a book. It was a poetry book, right? That was one of the first book you gave me. I still have the copy of it. And from the books you used to sing some of your same poetry. You turn them into music.
Right.
One that I love was one that you had did. I think it was about the Caribbean. Yeah. Well, later on, I'm going to see if you still remember it because I want you to do a cappella of that so that Flavius
Oh
can
my
hear
God.
because I was telling
All right.
Flavius about it,
Yeah, yeah,
because
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
he's a lover of the Caribbean.
All
But
right.
then what blew me away is how you have improved a lot on your
Oh, thank
music
you.
part of it.
Thank you.
Everything, the production of these songs, whether it's done in a studio or at your home, but your voice, everything just come back into one. I
Thank
think
you.
I think you have completed that journey. You come full circle with the music
Yeah.
because you weren't really that musical type of person. You're more into the poetry rapping.
Back then, yeah. Well, you
Yes.
know what? That
Mhm.
also ties in since we talked about the Caribbean.
Mhm.
Um, I have to say that my singing went through a big change living in Trinidad.
Mhm.
That, well, number one, being exposed to Calypsonians, right?
Mhm.
And in
Oh,
Calypso,
yes.
how they do
What's
all the
that? What's
words.
that? What's that?
Calypso,
Oh, the
oh
calypso.
man,
Oh, the calypso. Oh,
Okay,
I
see,
never
I was
catch the
I
the,
was
the, the,
speaking
the word. Okay. Uh-huh.
I was speaking Trini right then. It-
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
yeah, if you're in Trinidad, you're gonna say Kaiso, right?
Okay.
Kai,
But
Okay.
yeah, man, Kaiso, yeah, Kaiso.
yeah,
Okay.
so let me speak it, regular Calypso.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, but I really learned a lot of things watching these amazing, legendary singers like Sparrow,
Mhm.
like Shadow,
Mhm.
like
Oh, yes.
yeah, just so many, and Ella Andal. So what a lot of people don't know, and what I've never really talked about publicly, is that I used to live with Ella Andal,
Wow.
and she's a big singer in Trinidad. She's been
Mhm.
singing for generations, and she's the first one who told me I could sing.
Yeah.
So I would be
Okay.
staying where, yeah, and she taught me how to cook good Trini food. So
Mhm.
if you ever come by me, people lick the pot when I cook.
That's good.
So,
You
so
can't make
if you
them lick
ever
the
come by,
pot.
yeah, if you ever come by me and then I cook good food, that's where I learned how to cook.
Okay.
So
Okay.
she would be in
Let
the
me tell you, we are going to be having, probably starting next week or the following week, a Caribbean cooking segment.
uh-huh.
Yeah, that is coming up
Oh, nice, nice
shortly.
cook.
So
Yes, you can contribute to.
right
Yeah,
away I rope you in. Rope you, I
yeah.
rope you in.
But one thing
So,
about
what
Trinidad,
did you cook? You cook. What Trinidad did you cook?
oh man, I cook pilau, I cook a good curry, anything. Brown
Okay.
stew, and when I say brown stew, I'm not talking that, if you buy it in a bottle, it's not real brown stew. You have to take the sugar, let it burn,
Oh,
Yes.
that
in it.
brown stew. Okay.
Old school cooking. Like, see, the way that I learned to cook in Trinidad is if you get it from a bottle, it's not real.
Mhm.
So you cook with green seasoning, and so yeah, I learned how to cook from scratch. I know how to make bakes and doubles and all of those things.
You know I
Franco,
How
stuff. Yeah.
you know what is pillow, Franco?
No, I don't know. You guys,
Okay, you
you
should.
guys, you guys tell me what's that?
pilau
Yeah.
is like rice and peas.
Oh, it's rice
It's
and
a
peas.
seasoned rice, what we call seasoned rice, but they put a lot more things into it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
A
Okay.
one pot meal. A one pot meal.
Okay. No meat, no night though.
Mhm.
Yeah, it can have meat,
Oh,
yeah.
you can't have meat. Okay. Okay.
But in Jamaica, we normally put saltfish.
Mhm.
It's
Okay.
no,
Yes,
not so
Milani,
sweet.
continue with your story, cause I know every minute we dip in
So
because.
no problem, no
Mm.
problem. So I would be learning to cook, and then she would be in the kitchen, and then she would hit a high note. And if you
Mhm.
ever hear Ella Andal sing, you know she could reach some notes, right? So she would sing the note, and then she would tell me to sing the same note.
Yeah.
And I would look at her like, "Are you serious? Me sing that?" But really, she trained me how to sing,
Mhm.
and she took me in the studio for my first professional recording.
Mhm.
And she took me to the top of the line. I was working with the same producers who worked with Bungie Garlin and at that time Beanie Man and Iowa George. I don't know if you all know
Ivor
these
George.
people,
I
but
know Ivor George. I've seen him
yeah,
perform at Unifest before. Yeah.
Yeah, so she took me to the best of the best, and from then on, in fact, I almost got discovered in Trinidad. There was a A&R there,
Yeah.
who he ended up passing away though, but he paired me with the producer, and it was beautiful to be able to be in a space where I could just create. Through that experience, I learned that there's a structure to writing music. I learned that, before as a poet, I would just pour out my heart and just no like structure, no nothing. The chorus might come after 15 bars or something like that, but it was this man, Christian Carbasa, who told me, no, you can't do it like that. You have to structure your songs. I found out you could do hip hop in a key. You could rap in a key, and the key has to match the key of the chorus. Like, I learned about the business of music through living in Trinidad, through these amazing people like Ella Andal, like, you know, I mean, I hope it's all right for me to mention the people
Of
who I
course, you can mention them. You can
but these
mention them.
people,
The-
listen,
Mhm.
they were essential in my career. Living in Trinidad was essential to me as an artist, and why I'm able to be so creative now, from my songwriting to even some of the creative things. Like, that part is always with me. So definitely, if I'm still talking about home, Trinidad is always home for me, and definitely as an artist, that was my artistic home. It's where I felt the most complete.
I
So
think
how long were you there? How long were you there?
Consecutively 3 years.
that's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good. I've been listening to this song and I said I'm gonna ask you about this song,
Which
Peculiar
song?
Peculiar Fruit.
Oh yeah, yeah. Peculiar Fruit. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a tribute to Billie Holiday. Billie Holiday did Strange Fruit, and
Mhm.
she was
Yeah.
talking about the people hanging on the trees.
Yeah.
But Peculiar Fruit is saying, I mean, it's so close to the original words because what we're living is so close to the original context.
Mhm.
I mean, look at what just happened, 2 days ago, I mean, we really being murdered in these streets,
Yeah.
and then even the thing about the what the what's the name, K9 Karen,
Yeah.
the girl in the Central Park, you
Mhm.
know, using the police as a threat to
Yeah.
a black man. And the reason why that can be done is because they know that when they call the police, it's not to serve and protect our community. They know that 911 call
It's
always puts our
enforcement.
lives
Mhm.
right. Yeah, they know that it's a threat to our lives. So they use it, and like, I have an alarm system in my house, right?
Mhm.
If I call, if my alarm goes off and it's a false alarm, I have to pay a fine.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you know that if you have security
Really?
at
Yeah,
your house,
yeah, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
yeah,
It's true.
you
Yeah.
have to,
I
you
didn't
get
know that.
fined.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
Hmm?
Mhm.
you get fined. But these people keep falsely calling police
911.
on
Yeah.
our people, yeah, just so they can hopefully get us attacked or killed or murdered. Like, they playing games with our life, and there are no consequences.
Mhm.
Cops are killing black people, and there are no consequences. We're living in a time where every day stepping outside of your door is not even stepping outside your door.
A black man life is nothing right now.
Man,
Nothing.
black woman,
Yeah,
all of us, and all
black
of
people
our
lives in
kids.
America is nothing.
Exactly. Look at the sister who was in her house
Mhm.
sleeping.
Yeah.
Police knocked the door unannounced and fire all these shots
And kill the woman for nothing.
and kill her for nothing.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I
Yeah,
mean, this is
man.
the reality of 2020, when people were lying about being post-racial a few years ago, but we know that doesn't exist.
Mhm. Well, I want to play Peculiar Fruit so that
Sure.
Flavius can hear it and you listening can hear it out there. This beautiful song from a talented woman.
Thank you.
Wicked, 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 wicked tune. Peculiar
Yeah, man.
fruit.
Yeah.
Coach, you saw me I tell you how talented she is, the multi-talented
Yeah,
Omilani,
man.
Thank
gracing
you.
the stage here with us this morning on the Real Stuff Podcast. So in case you just joined us, welcome to the Real Stuff Podcast, and our guest this morning is none other than the multi-talented Omilani. I'm listening to the song and I'm thinking, I see a collab here in a coach.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I see a collab here. Two-person came to my mind while the song was playing. Yeah, two-person, a female and a male artist. But
Yeah.
we'll talk more about that. I mean, I have all of the, we're ready to party, money, all of those songs,
Yeah.
you know. And I'm
Yeah.
looking back and like, when I was listening to these songs, Tripping, Peculiar
Mhm.
Fruit, Shooting Star,
Yeah.
Rebellion, and I'm like, oh, Melania has come a long way. She finally come around, you finally reach a 360 degree. Boom. And
Hmm.
you hit it on the head, man.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I'm glad, I'm glad, I'm glad. It as I said, we go through stages and sometimes we're dragging our feet and it's like the spirit forcing us to do something
Right.
and we refuse to do it and eventually something else
Hmm.
might just come around the corner, boom,
Yep.
and push us right back into it.
Hmm.
Over the years, I know you've been doing a lot of poetry as well.
Uh-huh.
Have you published another book yet?
Well, um, since the last one, not a personal book, but I've been published in books. So
Mm-hmm.
there was a book that came out last year, 2019, about diaspora.
Mm-hmm.
And I did a paper called "The Tale of Two Diasporas." I wrote with a friend of mine who is she's from Colombia.
Mm-hmm.
She's an artist out there in Colombia, and we were just talking about the differences of growing up black in Colombia versus here in the United States, and what are the challenges that we go through.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so yeah, I continue writing. That's something I don't think I will ever stop doing. You
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But it switches from creative to sometimes having to express these thoughts about the stuff going on in the world today.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's dread out there, and we have so many musicians who are really talking about it through their music or in their music, as I would, as some people would say, and yet
Mhm.
still it's falling on deaf ears.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering why sometimes, because look here how much we push the music as DJs, some DJs, and not a lot of DJs are doing it. Because
Mhm.
reggae music and hip hop music, when it first came out, were considered to be the voice of the people.
Definitely.
Yeah, but now the songs that we're listening to are not really the voice of the people, are the voice of the
Right.
artists.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, we're living in a generation where people are doing things for
hmm
likes.
for
People are doing
likes.
things
Yeah.
for followers. Yeah. So,
Exactly.
I mean, you could even see it when you make posts online. Like, if I post some foolishness, like something that's just funny and that's all, it gets so many likes, so many people tune in. But when you're talking consciousness, when you're talking real stuff, you might get 3 likes, 4 likes,
Mhm.
nobody
Mhm.
seems interested. So it's like, the good and bad part about um, internet is that we have access to the world, and
Mhm.
we can promote ourselves in a way that we could not promote ourselves before.
Mhm.
But the downside of that is that in order to market yourself, you have to think in a commercial way. And
Mhm.
thinking in a commercial way means that you have to package culture, which makes it like sterile. It makes it
Mhm.
not authentic. You have to find a way that you can appeal to people who normally wouldn't listen to what you
You
have to
say
say
yeah.
because people could be very superficial sometimes.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's true. You have to beat them up, forget them, to come in and listen to it. I don't.
Right.
I like the natural thing. I rather do my stuff the same way that I'm accustomed to.
You know,
You
Franco,
know, put the
I'm
truth
like
forward. Forefront. If you want to be a part of it, you're free to come. But if you don't,
I'm
I'm
like
not
that
trying
too.
to butter up nothing because I want you to run, come and like it. Nah, I'm not into it.
Right.
I'm not
I'm like
into it.
that too. Yeah, free,
Yeah, you have to be authentic and truthful, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
It could be costly sometimes though, because maybe I would be further along if I tried to appease people, but I'm authentically myself. Maybe I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying sometimes, maybe, I don't do things interesting enough to
Yeah.
some people, but I feel like if you stay in the center and you remain yourself and you're true to your personality, to your
Mm-hmm.
truth,
Mm-hmm.
then the right people will come. And I'd rather have 5 people who really believe in me and who are sincere than to have 10 million followers who really, who
They're
I have
just
to
there for the
convince
ride. They're
again.
just there for the ride because,
Right.
yeah, they like when you post all of those superficial thing, you know, them say, yeah.
But if you change it, look what happened with Lady Gaga, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Not to take it out of diaspora, but I'm just talking about artists, right?
Go
When
ahead.
she came out and she was doing all the weird things, which I loved it because it was very artistic.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a time when it became overwhelming for her. So she had to strip down all of those things
Mm-hmm.
and be her natural self. But I don't know. Only her true fans remain. Same with Nicki Minaj. Remember Nicki Minaj had all the red hair, blue hair,
Yeah,
green
yeah.
hair,
Mm-hmm.
all the Barbie things. And I guess she got tired of the act. But when she became her natural self,
Mm-hmm.
eventually she went back the other way. But, you know, yeah,
Some,
I guess the
uh,
people
um,
didn't follow.
most of our fans run away, and the
Yeah,
true one them stay. You know, uh,
yeah,
you
because
stay
they
with
fell
me
in
from
love
the
with the
beginning.
gimmick.
You have to be a part of the journey until it
Right.
finish. So you
Yeah,
know, so my work will be there, or whatever project I start, it will be there for life because these are the true fans. You know, that's
right.
how it have to be. I remember when I started the internet radio. This year going to make 15 years. And some people were telling me, you need to get some, like them that's a labrish or hype it up. And I said, no, I don't want it to be a hype station because I don't want to be like every other radio station. We're going to do the same thing, play the same music. You must see a different, genre or reggae music whenever you
Hmm.
come on my station. Whether you like it or not, it's up to you. I'm not playing it just to bring a crowd because I want the hype and the crowd going to stay with me. No. And we got on tuning like 6.5 thousand, right?
Hmm.
Authentic listeners right now.
Yeah,
All of those people have been there. You know, it could have been a lot more, but
yeah,
I stick with the 6.5 that is there right now. Because
yeah,
true fans, they want to hear the music, the true essence of what reggae music is all about. You know.
yeah. And that's the struggle of the artist all the time
Hmm.
is that there's always a constant battle between your passion and then the unavoidable fact that when we sing and when we sing for the public, that there is an element of what we do that you have to consider
Hmm.
the public as you're doing it. But still, I think there is space for authenticity in that, and that's where I try to consider people who
Yeah.
my audience is, but always true to myself. I couldn't pretend. I couldn't,
Hmm.
yeah.
There's a style about you that I like, and it's your style of fashion, your clothing.
Really?
Yes, and I was looking at a picture that you posted, and
Uh-huh.
all along I figured say it was the African outfit style, and I think you were wearing like the Nigerian outfit,
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
other woman beside you was wearing like what? Was it the Filipino outfit?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you make that distinction about it, but both of them look the same to me.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
since I know you've been wearing a lot of headband, what you call it, headband.
Gele.
All right,
Yeah.
your style of dressing is unique, completely different from a lot of females. What
Well,
make you
thank
get
you.
caught up in that style of dressing? I know it's a part of your roots, but what get you
Yeah,
caught up in it?
that's something that people don't know about me is that I've been dressing like this all my life. I've been conscious all my life. You know,
Hmm.
people just get Instagram and Facebook and it feel like people just started in consciousness,
Hmm.
in the 2010s and things like that. But I grew up like this.
Yeah.
If you look back at my pictures, my earliest pictures, 12, 13,
Hmm.
I'm dressed the same way, still talking culture. That book that you have that I gave to you way back then,
Hmm.
all of those things I wrote when I was 8, 9, 10 years old, like I was a child when I wrote a lot of these poems that later became songs.
Hmm.
So it's not like I just learned it and just picked it up,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah, it's natural. That's my thing.
And that's one of the reasons why I like you like that. I love your work, your body of work, your style of dressing, everything that you do
Thank
because
you.
you're just natural. As some people would say, it's natural mystic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank
Yeah.
you.
I definitely
If,
going. Coach, yeah, go ahead.
yeah, if somebody wants to have a look at your movie, how can they do that?
So right now it's still on the circuit. It's on the film festival circuit. So
Okay.
people are really strict about it being online. So I can't put it online yet,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm hoping to be able to release it soon. So
Oh,
people could
Okay.
watch it, and because in the film I don't just talk about identity. There's a whole section where I go into the Haitian Revolution
mm-hmm.
and how the Haitian Revolution affected all of us in the diaspora.
Mm-hmm.
The message that is sent, and then how colonizers have been trying to punish us since
Mm-hmm.
then for for African people setting themselves free.
Mm-hmm. Flavius, I want you to give her the big up brainwash story that we got as a kid growing up. The one that old George mentioned to us. Growing up as a kid, I know you might hear about this or you know about it. They used to
Uh-huh.
tell us about the Eskimo, right?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Do
yeah.
you know what their real name is?
No, I don't know.
Exactly. Flavius, tell her. Because when
Inuit, they're Inuits.
the
Yeah.
Inuit,
Hmm.
what Inuit, what
What,
Indians,
yeah, what we are being told now is that Eskimo was a
derogatory,
crazy,
yeah, a
a crazy
derogatory
word,
word used against them
oppression.
by
Yeah,
the colonial rulers,
yeah.
Wow.
and they put it in books and taught us back in the Caribbean. Said these people are Eskimo and them live in them igloos and thing like that.
Wow.
When old George mentioned it to us, I think it was our third guest on the
Yeah.
podcast. When he mentioned it to us, he too was blown away because he was, oh yeah, these people are Eskimo, and somebody pulled him aside and said, no, don't call him that. It's like looking at a black man and call him the N word.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know
He
that.
was shocked. I said, but these are things that they put in books in the Caribbean and they taught us.
Right,
So
right.
you see, the whole history at certain things, we have to really go deep in it and study it ourselves. I used to love Caribbean history more than the European history. You understand me?
Yeah, yeah.
And I know that I was telling Flavius yesterday about how you taught me about the West Indies, the
Yeah.
term West Indies and the Caribbean.
Uh-huh.
So I want you to give him a touch of it for me.
No, that's important. We have to decolonize
Hmm.
our way of speaking, because everybody knows Columbus got lost, created the biggest lie,
Hmm.
and for all these years we've been embracing this lie like it's the truth. He
Yeah.
got lost looking for spices and thought he was in India.
Hmm.
So that's why we call the indigenous people Indians and this West Indies.
Hmm.
Well, I even heard the term some people call the islands in Asia East Indies. I saw that written
Oh yeah,
in
yeah,
some books.
yeah. They used to,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, I saw that up to this morning. I saw East Indies.
yeah, I saw
Yes.
that too. I didn't know that before, but I was like, really? It reached over there too. So you see how far. I mean, all these stories. You
Brainwash
remember that song?
education, man. All of these brainwash education.
You remember this song? I think it was by the Wailers, and they said they teach the youth about Christopher
Columbus,
Columbus.
yeah.
He
Peter
said he
Touch,
was a
Peter
very
Touch.
great
So
man.
you can't
Yeah.
Yes,
blame the youth.
you can't blame the youth, right?
And all these great men were doing was robbing, raping, looting, kidnapping, and killing.
Right,
You
right. But
understand me?
now
Yeah.
they call them conquerors. They call
Mm.
them
They're
you know,
murderers.
yeah.
Murderers
And
and
No, but
rapers.
no, but you can't even really blame them, because what Columbus had is the same thing that the British sent down to Australia.
what's that?
Columbus was sent to wherever he was going with a bunch of criminals,
Oh yeah, yeah.
because they wouldn't give him proper good sailors and army people and all that. They just gave him some people that want to get rid of anyway.
Prisoners
Yeah.
who would have
Listen,
on trials.
it happened then, and we still got criminals running countries like this one here. Like Trump, and the way it's like affecting people's mentality.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Then put him in
I,
place.
I,
Man.
I have a question from one of our listeners. One of our listener who is always with us. She's asking you to speak a little on the Orisha tradition in Trinidad.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I spent a lot of time around the Orisha communities. Well, I guess because I mentioned Ella Andal, and she's also known for singing Orisha music. And if you look at a lot of her music, if you look in the notes, you'll see I was the one who did the translations to English. So I was right there with her, when she was making all of those different things. But what amazes me about Trinidad is how well preserved the tradition was. My thesis, when I did my master's degree, my thesis was called "What is Africa to We?" Meaning that one thing that I was seeing happening in Trinidad is that a lot of people were coming from Nigeria. No disrespect, but a lot of people were coming from the continent to teach Trinidadians what is the real African tradition. So I'm thinking, if we have carried this for all of these generations, then what are you really saying? What are you saying is the real thing? Because whatever people are practicing where they're living was handed down through their ancestors. And if you think, if you think that an African in 2020 is going to be the same as he was in 1700s, or 1800s when our ancestors were carried over here, something is wrong, because people change, culture changes. So I embrace the traditions that were handed down through generations from our ancestors, while still acknowledging, the importance and power of connecting with the current roots. I do think that there is also power in who we have become as people of the diaspora.
So, who is actually Orisha tradition? What exactly is that?
It is, the tradition of our ancestors come from Nigeria, and there is a belief in one God. However, this aspect of God is breaking down into different parts, so that you understand them and relate to them in a different way. So you recognize the divinity in the river, in the thunder and lightning, in the crops and the harvest at the crossroads, that's the short of it. But of course, it's more comprehensive than that.
Okay.
I know that the Maroons in Jamaica, they put a big thing in the what they call the provision grounds.
Yeah.
That's always at the forefront. Yeah. I have a question of my own though. How many diasporas you have?
How many
you're a part of.
that I am a part of?
Yes.
Or that I'm a part of many, but how many I acknowledge is a different question.
How many you acknowledge? How many you acknowledge? Coach, this is Omilani at her best, I'm telling
Yeah,
you.
I'm keeping it real.
How many you acknowledge, Omilani?
I mean, I would acknowledge three, you
Okay.
know,
Mm-hmm.
which would be my African,
Mm-hmm.
you know, my indigenous,
Mm-hmm.
and the one that connects me as a person of Asian Pacific Islander. You know, I love my Filipino roots too. So
Okay.
yeah,
That's true. That's good. That's good. That's good.
So what is the indigenous?
indigenous. Well, I mean that I have learned in the Filipino side, Mandaya, Mansaka, Palawano. You know, I don't know on the black side. You know how they always say people say Cherokee or different things like that. My mother's mother was indigenous.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the story of it. She just showed pictures and say I haven't done the root DNA and all of those things. So
No,
you know,
yeah.
it's interesting when we talk about family and roots and things like that because if we look at reality, like you would think people have all the answers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why the older generation, like my parents' generation, they're very secretive. You know, they don't always tell the stories. I don't even know my mother's parents' name. I mean,
Mm.
her parents' name, and then they use so many nicknames
Yeah.
that you don't know their real name. Like there are people I know all my life, and then later on you find out the name you've been calling them is not what their real name is. Yeah, if you look on my social
That's true.
media, yeah,
That's
I
true.
share a lot of pictures
Mm.
from my father's side, and it's not that I glorify one side over the other. It's just only one side had access to pictures. You know,
Mm.
only one
Yeah.
side took pictures. I don't have any pictures of
Mm.
my mother's mother. Barely have pictures of my mother because there was a period of time she didn't like taking pictures.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
So
you
where's
know,
she from? Where's she from?
my mother, she's the one who is from diaspora. You know, more like Caribbean African roots. You know,
Okay, okay.
yeah, yeah. And then my father is Asian. But
Okay.
there are some mysteries on his side too.
Mm-hmm.
Because well, remember I was telling you about the Trini family that's on my father's
Yeah,
mother's
yeah.
side.
The Osangs,
But
Yeah.
right?
yeah, but my
Yeah.
father's mother was adopted and my father's mother's mother was adopted too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know her real name.
Okay.
So when you see me doing all this work about where is home, finding family, you know, we rely on the stories,
Mm-hmm.
you know, of people in our family to understand who we are. And then there are times when you're living, and I'm telling my truth because there are other people who can probably relate. Everybody talk about family like it's perfect, like
Mm-hmm.
we perfectly know these answers, and I don't perfectly know these answers. So, you know, you can grow up and you feel different from everybody around you. I
Yeah.
do feel different in the States. I don't feel like I belong in this context.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't feel as natural as I do when I'm other places. So I guess I have been on different journeys to find out why. Why don't
Well, we have dropped the call with our guest. Gonna hit you up with a track, and then we're gonna get right back to Omilani. Yes. We're back again with Omilani. Sorry for the interruption. Yes, continue, Omilani, where we left off. Huh?
No, I was just saying, I hope everybody understands what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
That sometimes we have gaps in our family history,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes we don't know the answers. And I'm searching for mine.
Yeah,
That is,
yeah.
yeah, it's still an incomplete story.
Well, at least you
Well,
have done a lot.
I mean, yeah, I am a strong believer that the Caribbean people are one people, as opposed
Yeah.
to these little islands here, there, and everybody is separate. I don't think so at all.
We
Uh, we,
can't
yeah, go ahead.
we can't be anyway because listen, so many people like, for example, I made a post last year. Rita Marley. She was born in Cuba.
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
know,
Yeah,
or it's so many people who you might find might be Panamanian, but they're Jamaican, but they also have roots, somewhere else, Montserrat, or
Mm-hmm.
like being
in
Caribbean
fact,
also
in
means,
fact,
huh?
in fact, one of the did you knows that I did a few weeks ago was about somebody born in Panama and then they become a Jamaican.
That was
Mhm.
George Headley.
Mhm.
And then his sister was a Belgian,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah. See,
So,
our people have moved about so much, and then you have
oh yeah,
different historical things that people forget that, like, for example, after Haitian Revolution, a lot of Haitians fled. Some went to Jamaica, some went to Cuba,
Mm-hmm.
some
yeah,
went different places. So you could have people of this descendancy from there. Some went to New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
It's big communities there who come from Haiti, who come from even places like Honduras. Like they have
oh yeah.
roots. Yeah, so that's the reason why, just blanketly, I claim African diaspora because, to say that I'm black connects me to all of these different places. It connects me to our shared history,
Mm-hmm.
and it connects me to the things that have happened to us on this journey.
I want to hear about your African experience because I know you went to Africa.
Yeah, I went to school there. I was
Yeah.
living there for a little while.
So I want to hear a little bit about it because I know it's big,
Mhm.
it's large, it's a long story, but give me a little
Yeah.
piece of it because
But the short version.
Okay, that's what you are trying to say, that I'm long-winded. All right, I understand.
No, nothing like that. Nothing like that.
No, I'm just joking. No, I was fortunate to get a scholarship from Fulbright Hayes to go over to Nigeria to
hmm
study Yoruba language in
Okay,
Nigeria. Yeah,
okay.
it was that was really one of my favorite places that I live. When they show you on television all these pictures with children with flies on their faces and all of that, Nigeria was not like that. This was one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen. I mean, like grass and trees, greener. Like it looks unreal how much Africa is paradise. The other thing I didn't see is homelessness. Well, I was living in Ile Ife,
hmm
and you didn't see homeless people. You didn't see people sleeping out on the street. I'm not saying it doesn't exist.
hmm
I'm just saying I went all over the place and I didn't see that kind of thing. I saw how the children respect the elders and how like they have a different moral code there and how they treat each other. I saw how people share. And I remember one time I was at a festival, but remember I'm living there, so money got a little low,
hmm
and I didn't have much money, but I was so hungry. And so the elders in the community, they fix you up good food and make sure you're taken care of. I was living at one time, Shogbo too, in the palace, there, and I was living with the in the Oshun temple there, and I was staying with the children. We shared everything. We would in Nigeria after a certain time the lights go out, right? So we would put on candles and tell stories and sing songs, and all of us slept together, and I felt just like one of the other village children. I felt like I was just part of communities. 5 o'clock in the morning, all the women would get up and they would sing traditional songs and they would sweep. It was dirt floor, but they would sweep the dirt floor.
Wow.
Clean for days. Just good, wonderful energy. If I could move back there, I would.
I see.
Mm.
World traveler. Well, I have to play one more of your song.
Okay.
Yeah, and this one is Tripping.
Okay.
All right? So, going to give you, my listeners who have just tuned in, welcome to the Real Stuff Podcast. And our guest this morning is the one and only Omilani. So, we're going to play Tripping. Omilani, you're tripping.
Yeah, it can be like that sometimes.
I'm telling you.
Come and listen again. Asking you to, what's the meaning of your name?
Omilani means water.
Water.
Okay.
Water.
Aye. Water can fit into anything, you know.
It flows and finds it flows and finds its own
And it
level.
flow, yeah, and find its own space too.
There's a Nigerian proverb that says water has no hands or feet, yet it can pull sticks and move things.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
That's you, Omilani.
yeah.
How many languages do you speak?
How many languages? Six.
Six.
Uh-huh.
You speak
Okay,
6
wonderful.
languages?
I speak
Yeah,
six
what are the six?
Huh?
What are the six?
Well, of course, English, but I don't know if that
English?
counts.
Yes,
Spanish.
Yeah.
I speak Yoruba. I speak Filipino.
Mm-hmm.
I speak French. Did I name French?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I speak Portuguese, even though it's been a while. I don't know if I still speak it so well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then I was
Oh,
learning Wolof too. Yeah.
Well, what? So?
Wolof and a little bit of Haitian Creole.
Okay.
Not enough.
okay.
Not enough to count it, but a little bit.
Mhm. You can get around.
So,
Yeah.
you see why
A
I
little bit.
you see why I call her the multi-talented do Flavius.
Come on. Oh, yes.
And
Well put together.
when
That
she
was
hmm?
it was inspired by my grandfather
Mm-hmm.
from the Philippines. They said he could speak 26 languages.
Wow.
Mm.
Yeah. So I
Wow.
said, dude, I can speak languages too.
Mhm.
Not that many.
Yeah, but that is nice when you can just move from one to the next, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Really nice.
Musically, let me touch on your musically.
All right.
I know you did a show once in, was it in Bahamas?
Bahamas,
And
yeah.
you were telling me about that experience, but not in many words because it was like a text. It was a resort that opened. I can't remember what it really was.
The,
Do
the
you have any
Marley
memory of
Resort.
it? Eh?
The Marley Resort.
The Mali Resort. Yeah. What is it like?
It was nice. I opened for Tanya Stevens,
Big
and
ups, big ups. Mm-hmm.
yeah, and it was. You know what? Let me not get on here and tell lies.
Well,
I
okay.
said, I'm saying that it was a beautiful experience, but the reality is, in terms of singing, that was a show where I bombed
Yeah.
because, yeah, like I like to keep it real. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
get up here and
I
and
know. I
tell
know. I know. Mm-hmm.
some fantasy lie.
Mm-hmm.
But I do this stuff because there might be people who have dreams
Mm-hmm.
and they might think that artists get up there and everything is perfect. No, that would go down as one of the shows where I felt I looked the best. I mean, I was looking fly, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I sounded horrible. It was my first time singing. You
Were you
know,
nervous?
I was terrified because of everybody who was there. Kimbo Slice was there,
Mm-hmm.
God rest his soul. It was a lot of big people in the audience, and it was a big show, Marley Resort, and it was put on by Danisha, who was his granddaughter.
Okay. Okay.
So we were there, and so I don't know, it was the pressure of all of it, and I had never sang melodically. Doing hip hop and singing are two different things because if you hit the wrong note,
Mm-hmm.
it can make you sound like you don't know how to sing. So I got up there. Oh my God, I was terrible. But I kept fighting. I said I would never do that again. I would never take an opportunity like that and not be prepared. So since then, I've been fighting to be sure that I learn how to sing and so that I fight the nerves.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I sing today.
Okay. So you hear that my guest just confess that she wasn't a bomb. she, she exploded
Yeah, I did.
because
Yeah.
she was terrified. She was frightened. She was nervous.
Mhm.
I understand because I remember my first time I DJ out in public. Boy, I was shaking. I was sweating, and I was like, my friend said to me, "Franco, we are sweat, sir." I said, "Boy, I'm nervous, man." One of my favorite thing to do when I'm nervous is drink a lot of water because
Uh-oh.
I'm thinking it calm me down.
Yeah.
But I never calm down until I let go of the DJ stand and tell him, "I soon come back and go use the bathroom because I really, really wanted to go."
Mhm.
And when I went into the men's room, I said to myself, "Damn, you've been preparing for this day so long, and now
Right.
you come and you know it's like you freeze up."
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? I'm going out there and I'm gonna dance, even if nobody is dancing, just dance, move around and touch. And man, eventually it came off. It wasn't
Yeah.
bomb. It wasn't bomb. It wasn't
Yeah.
except it wasn't excellent, but it was fairly good.
Yeah.
And I said, they're not going to invite me back again, and they did.
Yeah. But that's the thing about performing. We have good shows, we have bad
That show,
shows.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it happens like that. Sometimes it's our fault.
Hmm.
Sometimes you have a bad sound system and you can't do anything about it. But the thing is, you keep going. That's the difference between people who end up making it and people who don't, is those who continue to believe even when everything around you would make you want to doubt yourself. You just have to keep pushing, always.
Well, Omilani, we're going to let you go now because we know you have stuff to do and you take time out to be here with us this morning.
I
Flavius, is
appreciate
there
it.
anything else you want to ask her before she leave?
Only when are you available to come in with the cooking?
Oh, yeah,
Ah, you thought
anytime.
I forgot, eh? Hmm?
Yeah, anytime. That's my thing. I love feeding people.
All right.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah.
We're gonna take your information after
All
the
right.
show,
Yeah.
and then we can catch up with things. Cause I have another song that I'm gonna play,
Okay.
and this one is Shooting Star.
Mhm.
I don't know if it's which one you never when I always ask artists which song is them favorite. Them always say, boy, me love all of my tune them. Me not have no favorite.
No, I have my favorites. It's not one I sent you.
Hmm.
On that album, I have
Oh,
two favorites.
you know
One
what?
is
You
uh-huh.
know what? I just remembered. You think I forget to? I want you
Yeah.
to sing the Caribbean. So
Oh,
just to
okay.
get you at home, you're comfortable, so no one is
Yeah,
around, no
let's
pressure.
see if I remember it. It's
So
been a while,
all right,
But
I'm
yeah,
gonna play this in the meantime. Maybe you
all
can
right, all right.
you can think of something, or if not, talk your way out of it. All right,
Okay, okay.
all right.
I'm a shooting star like my name was Galaxy. Act like you know me, I'm your greatest fantasy. Like an asteroid, I'm out of this world. I dance on Jupiter, yeah, I'm your spacey girl. And we're lighting up the sky tonight, tonight. And we're lighting up the sky tonight, tonight. I am your shooting star. Whoa, I'm your shooting star. I'm your shooting star. Whoa, I'm your shooting star. I do the moonwalk while you on cloud nine. Speed up my orbit, yeah. Boy, I don't waste no time. I'm your Venus flytrap. Capture you and hold you tight, boy. You just picture that. And we're lighting up the sky tonight, tonight. And we're lighting up the sky tonight, tonight. I am your shooting star. Whoa, I'm your shooting star. Yeah, I'm your shooting star. Whoa, I'm your shooting star. I'm your shooting star, and I'm taking aim on you. I'm feeling weightless now. My feet don't touch the ground. I am your shooting star. Whoa, I'm your shooting star. Yeah, I'm your shooting star. Whoa, I'm your shooting star. I'm a shooting star like my name was Galaxy.
Yes, indeed. Our shooting star this morning, the one and only Omilani. And
Yeah.
We finally talk her in to give us some a cappella, a piece of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Are you
All right.
ready?
I'm ready. This one is West Indies rhyme. Moving with the West Indies mind. Moving with the West Indies heart. Switched up the Caribbean name. We produce masters without knowing the art. Nina, Pinta, Santa Maria. Crossed on these shores, then Columbus appeared. Searching for spices, strange how life is. He reached the sands and he told him how nice is India, but not exactly so. Situated quite west. Columbus was slow, but I can't talk. Nothing about heat, because I'm on my way to the West Indies. Moving with the West Indies mind. Moving with the West Indies heart. Switched up the Caribbean name. We produce masters without knowing the art. Moving with the West Indies right. Moving with the West Indies star. By now we should know our name so we can reclaim what was stolen from us. You want me to
Well,
keep going?
well, no. That's good enough. That's good enough.
All right.
See,
Thank
you're
you.
getting a round of applause.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I'm hearing the Trinidadian coming out in that one.
Oh yeah.
You should hear the rhythm. You should hear when she have the music behind it. It's absolutely, brilliant.
That came from being around all those Caisonians who
Mhm.
play with words, who story tell, who could really render a story. I give thanks for my time in Trinidad because, like I said, I think it really built me as an artist, and I felt like if you can perform in Trinidad, well, maybe the whole Caribbean, like if you could perform there, you could perform anywhere because the audiences are not easy. They would tell you if they don't like you,
They would what?
And
Flag you?
no, they would let you know, like
Oh.
oh man, this
Jamaica,
is
yeah?
the word.
Jamaica them
If
give
you,
the wiper,
yeah, if I remember one time going to this show in Trinidad, and there was a comedian there, and the people heckle him so bad already because he's a foreigner, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like all the people, they started telling jokes from the audience, and they were more funny than the person on the stage. So if you get up to do something, especially as talented as people are there, you better make sure that you know what you're doing because people don't keep quiet. Like they will take over if you're not
Especially when
doing
a
right.
comedian is performing.
Yeah.
I've seen it all the time. Yeah,
Oh,
at the
you seen that?
improv.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it at the improv in Coconut Grove.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
So
Omilani, it was a pleasure having you
same here.
with
Same.
us. And as always, I'm always, keeping in touch with you, following you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Please do. Likewise.
yeah. So I know that for the cooking, we're gonna talk with you off the year so you can stay online with us. And then
Okay.
I'll let Flavius get some more information. So
All right.
Flavius and all our listeners, we thank you for tuning in this morning. Your special guest, the multi-talented Omilani. And we ask that you like and subscribe. Yes, we want you to like and subscribe.
And smash the bell.
And we see Courtney just coming in. Say he's in love with shooting star, so you have a fan there, Omilani. Courtney love the shooting star. So Flavius,
Yes, sir.
It's your time now.
Well, Omilani, it was marvelous.
Thank you.
Marvelous and fresh, fresh. And that's what we're trying to do with the real stuff. Give the people real person's experience, real person's journey. Not a second hand, third hand, people who have lived it and have been there, willing to share with us. I really appreciate you this morning.
And
And I know, I know the fans loves it, you know?
Yeah, just like and subscribe. And you can leave your comments them too as well about the songs, about the stories,
Yeah.
because we know we're gonna bring her back. Maybe in the summer.
Oh, yes,
We're gonna bring her back
definitely.
because we know she have a lot more stuff that she could tell us.
and new music.
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely
yeah.
new music. But
Yes,
our time
yeah.
is up, and it's. I hope we could have do it on the radio station. We could have got longer because we did it
Yeah.
once.
Yeah.
That was a long, long time. Time sure
Yeah.
fly fast. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as always, as I would say, always remember that prayer do changes things regardless of what religion you belong to. Continue to pray. So this is Franco.
And this is Flavius saying, keep your distance. That's what we do for now. And hope for, as Mr. Sam Cook says, a change will come.
Absolutely. So Tafina as always to take us out. So we're gonna take away ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
All you gotta do is just speak. One word is enough, and I'm no longer so rough. I forget what I was trying to say. I no longer do what I was gonna do, but you're no good for me. That's why me know set me a figure flee. Me I fi take away me say. Me I fi take away me say. Me I fi hide like a thief in the night. Me I fi get out of sight. Me I fi take away myself. I fi take away myself. I have to utilize thy wings. Surely I cleave your eyes. I said, yeah. I find you very hard to resist. But this relationship I'm gonna desist. But how can I face you when all I wanna do is just taste you? I know you think I play me, I play, but soon you're gonna see the light of day. Just relax, don't move an inch. I'll be gone in a pinch. May I feel take away myself. May I feel take away myself. May I feel hide like a thief in the night. May I forget out of sight. May I feel take away myself. Take away myself. I have to utilize thy wings. Surely I a clean pair of heels. I say, yeah. Been there, done that, don't need it again, yeah. I'm not a masochist who won't play your game, yeah. To all you move, you off me way to the core. Sayonara, the hot girl gone through the door. Take away ourselves. Ah, yeah, 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 yeah. Say no goodbye, girl, let me take me ourselves. Take me ourselves. No goodbye, girl, let me take me ourselves.
Well, unfortunately, this is it. Till next time. Bless. Well, unfortunately, this is it. Till next time. Bless.